Welcome back to Anime Fight Club, everyone. My name is Grim. Today we're checking out Baki Dou Part 1, or Musashi Dou. We'll be checking out chapters 81 through 83. Now in the last video, Yujiro and Musashi finally came face to face. Musashi sensed Yujiro's presence before he even came in the room. And he asked Yujiro what he saw when he looked at him. Because when he looked at Yujiro, he saw a mountain of gold going up to the heavens as high as he could see. So I'm eager to see Yujiro's thoughts on Musashi, whether or not he's going to tell him the truth, or if he's going to bluff, or even just what the truth is. So chapter 81 is entitled Gold. That's what you want to know, huh? What do I visualize when I look at you? Oh yes, do tell. Tokugawa's waiting as eagerly as I am. Yujiro smiles. These stupid questions you come up with. The legendary sword saint, Miyamoto Musashi, the finest warrior that ever lived, right in front of me. A man who would react if set upon. Huh? Do you get it? When the dream becomes real, there's no need to visualize anymore. You said I was surrounded by a mountain of gold, a petty dream that only you can see. Goodness, what an image. Get Musashi sitting here listening to Yujiro, then we get half of Yujiro's face and half of Musashi's face. Huh, it's just different. I like it. I expected no less. Well said, Hanma Yujiro. And when you said, what do you visualize in front of me? You weren't expecting me to respond, I see gold too, right? Pours him another cup of sake or whatever they're drinking. Musashi throws it up, exhales. What's wrong with gold? Don't you like it? Yujiro just sits there barefaced again. Same face he had when talking to Matobe. I really like when they show Yujiro's face like this. His face looks just like Jack's did when Pickle ripped his face off. Like Jack's face got more defined because we could see the actual muscle and tendons in his jaw. But for us to see that with Yujiro's face and his skin is still intact just shows how strong his jaw muscles are, which is wild. Answer me this. Is the fight as a whole the true goal in itself, or simply the path to a true goal? Tokugawa thinks, what a deep question. How will Musashi respond to that? Even if the true goal is an impure one at that. Purity in a fight. Why would you need such a thing? That gets Yujiro's attention. He sits up, looks up. I slashed, I killed, over and over. I've had more than 60 duels. If you include all the short skirmishes, not really worth mentioning, I've had more than 100 that could come to mind. And the number of men that perished in my hands, well, double that amount. I know that. As I moved on to the next opponent, my fame spread like wildfire. First to Kyoto, then to Nara, then to Edo. And as my name spread, if they needed somebody gone, provincial lords showered me with riches for the job. Everybody knew who I was and what I'm capable of doing. Yujiro's just standing there listening. What? So that's the way that this man became famous. As a mercenary. It's kind of dope. He's standing here looking terrifying while in the face of this sword. Whoever's facing him is shaking. You see all the wobbly lines surrounding the sword. Whoever that is scared, even after having slashed him. Let me see a mountain of corpses, all deceased. By being an expensive mercenary and a hitman of famous swordsmen, all of them loved me, praised me with names that they would use for deities and mythical creatures. All these people looking at him, nervous while trying to admire him at the same time. They all flocked to me on the streets until it was impossible to walk. Is this man the saint of battle? And Yujiro's just sitting here getting excited while listening. The most beautiful women, either that or getting angry at the fact that Musashi sought all these things instead of just combat. The most beautiful women, all the gold I desired, feasts that would astound you. Endless sake. And so it goes. The best of the world just for me, for the taking. He looks like a kid reaching out for a toy. I'm going to make my mark on this new world too. Everyone will know me and what I'm capable of doing. They will give me names. They will call me God, Demon, Ogre, the most powerful creature. Uh-oh, now he said 2 of the ogre's actual names, so let's see if he responds with those are my names. Tokugawa's sitting here looking at him like he can't believe he's so excited. So rich and famous that it will be impossible for me to run or hide everywhere I go. Tokugawa says, wait a minute. While he's trying to get it out, Yujiro turns up another glass of whatever they're drinking. Musashi turns around and slashes Yujiro with his imaginary slash thing, but Yujiro doesn't take it the way everybody else did. He just sits there continuing to hold his glass, or his cup. I'm going to make my mark on this new world too. This new world. Chapter 82, A Strong Body. So Musashi looks back at Yujiro, trying to see how he was going to take that slash, and he hasn't moved. So here we see the actual motion Musashi took without actually moving. I don't know, his after image or his before image is it's taking a position after swinging his sword through Yujiro. Yujiro just sits here. Musashi looks at him waiting for a response. Tokugawa has the thought, he cut him? He continues to drink like nothing happened. Musashi says, well, I see. What a strong body you have there. That's not the usual feeling I get from flesh. That's more like what happens with a suit of armor. Oh goodness. But what kills me is that he didn't swing anything like this, where the blade doesn't pass through. I've slaughtered people countless times using that cross body slash, but this is the first time a collarbone has withstood the attack. This is so ridiculous to me because he didn't have a sword in his hand. How did he feel actual resistance from his body? Didn't mean to spoil your fun. Man, he grasps this bottle of sake. Miyamoto and Tokugawa look at Yujiro. Yujiro looks on quite menacingly. Actually, you wouldn't even be able to draw your sword. You can't cut me, you can't hurt me, you can't sever anything from me. Swords are a joke to me. As he just looks, oh my goodness, otherworldly. Lifts his hand, flicks the top of that sake bottle at Musashi. Now we know Musashi is not about to blink. He's taking teeth and nails to his actual eyeball. They've actually made contact and bled, and he did not blink. So Yujiro swats the top of his glass at him. The glass hits him in the face. Again, he doesn't blink. Oh, he hit it with just one finger. One of the glass pieces cut a slit in Musashi's forehead, causing him to bleed. Tokugawa is shocked at this new development. Oh wow, what a clean cut. I didn't think it was so clean because there were so many pieces that hit Musashi, but perfect cut. Yujiro says, hey old man, fetch him a sword, would you? He's gonna want one. Man, Musashi wipes the blood off his forehead. How kind of you, strong man. And Yujiro smiles. There's doves flying outside Tokugawa's property. Yujiro and Musashi make it outside, or they go outside to start this duel. Musashi has his headband on, a headband we haven't seen yet. So this might be like a level up, a small Zenkai boost for Musashi as we continue forward. It's been a while since I've had both a long and a short sword. They fit me perfectly. And that's the first time he's praised any weapon since he's been revived. He unsheaths one, the long sword, I'm assuming, since he's holding it with two hands. He flips it around his hand, and takes his necessary position, his necessary posture. Yujiro reaches out his hand to the blade of this katana, wraps his hand around it. Musashi says, wow, surely realizing how strong his grip strength is. Now, he's done this to Matobe. When Matobe was fighting Yanagi, Yujiro walked up to that sword, grabbed it like this, and then broke it. Musashi says, aren't we bold? Miyamoto. Man. Chapter 83, Japanese Sword. Here we have a image of Matobe. Wonder if that has to do with anything, or if he's gonna show up in this chapter. So Yujiro's holding this sword, says Miyamoto, don't get so damn conceited, while giving him this super soft, gentle look. Miyamoto's looking at him. He's holding this sword. Yujiro reaches out with his right hand and hits him with an open palm strike, the same one he hit Hanayama with that cured Hanayama of his yawning. Hits Musashi with it. Goodness, looks like he knocked his head off. Takes Musashi off the ground. Yujiro merely leans to one foot just to finish that strike. Wow, sends Musashi flying, all while still holding this sword. Yujiro, it appears Yujiro has not let go of the sword, neither has Musashi. So Yujiro, while still holding this sword, lets the foot that was keeping his balance off the ground, lets it off the ground as though he's about to throw a kick. I'm not entirely sure. Tokugawa says, oh, Miyamoto has not let go of this sword. Oh, so that's what's happening. Yujiro hit Miyamoto in the face with enough force to send him flying. However, both Miyamoto and Yujiro's grip have not faltered. So the force exerted from Yujiro's strike lifted Yujiro off the ground too, since Miyamoto and Yujiro refused to let go of the sword. Yujiro's grip strength is uncanny though, considering he hasn't been cut by this sword. Considering that strike would have allowed Miyamoto to pull back on it, which is what he claims makes the sword able to cut. So Miyamoto appears to be unconscious, but I'm sure that's not the case. He's probably testing Yujiro out. Yujiro's doing the same as he continues his attack. They both land. Miyamoto is wobbling. He appears to be a little lanky. And Yujiro appears to be holding him up. Miyamoto hasn't moved. Tokugawa and Yujiro both look on. Both grips have not faltered. And it looks as though Yujiro goes to throw another strike. Not a strike, but a grapple maybe? He flips this sword in a manner that flips the rest of Miyamoto's entire body. And we see Yujiro still holding the sword, and then Miyamoto. Goodness, so Yujiro's just toying with him, just flipping him around. Miyamoto's eyes appear to be going in different directions, like he's unconscious. Oh, then he comes back. He says, what was I doing? I was wandering through nirvana without any memory of being hit. Wow, so he was unconscious, but his body did not allow him to let go of that sword. All his countless battle memories and experience. Yujiro stands here with this straight face. Miyamoto says, the fighters of this era have taught me something, that swords are no longer used. Instead, an interesting development to fulfill the need of tools of war has led to fists becoming like swords. However, your fists are not as strong as my sword. He says that right after smiling. So I wonder if he means it, because you were just unconscious, buddy. You just said you were wandering nirvana. If you want to prove me wrong, then don't let go, strong man. Oh my goodness, what a challenge. But Miyamoto changes his posture. You can see these rocks going up a lot, like telling us that this is a serious movement for him. He goes to throw the same strike that he's been throwing throughout the series. The same strike that's broken the green bamboo, the same one that broke that bamboo stick over Buddy's head, the same one that he's hit Baki with and everyone else. He's trying this strike while Yujiro is holding this sword. So the outcome of this quick bout would tell us whether or not Yujiro's grip strength is stronger or Musashi's strike strength. He says, oh, so Musashi tried to throw that strike. He's gripping the blade. My God. So Yujiro won that. Miyamoto tried that strike that he's been boasting throughout the entire series, that unfounded, unparalleled strike that's been breaking weapons just from the speed of its swing. But he was unable to move the sword even an inch while Yujiro was gripping it. Miyamoto yells, most impressive. And Miyamoto is holding onto the base of the sword. So Yujiro's in the air here. Let's just keep going. Oh no, that's the end of today's video. Wow, I hope to see you guys next video. This is getting wild. I hope to need you guys to leave a comment. What thoughts did you have throughout all of this? Yujiro's grip strength is crazy. I thought Hanayama was like top of the class, but Yujiro came in and showed me what was up. For him to not allow Miyamoto to move this sword even a millimeter with such a strike is just crazy. Leave a comment, hit the thumbs up, please share with your fellow otaku. Please subscribe if you haven't already done so. If you have, thank you very much. There are playlists in the description that would allow you to catch up to this point with any of the Baki series, as well as Kang and Ashura. I hope you will hit that bell notification so you don't miss any future uploads. Hope to see you next video, and as always, otaku for life.